Boy, just be yourself. If people don't like you if you're being yourself, fuck them.
It's Big Los, and welcome to another episode of The Noize. If you haven't yet, go ahead and follow us on the big three: Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Noize Podcast. And make sure you follow everything Beat Network at beatnetworkonline.com. Second week on time again, sorta, kinda, maybe. Depends on how you look at it. Like slightly late on a Monday, but you know, it's still Monday. However, as promised in the last episode, I have one of my nearest and dearest friends with me. I have the outspoken, the all black everything, Da Gem. Rach Da Gem is in the building. What's going on with you, Rach?
Aw, thanks for the intro. What's up, everybody?
Of course. I was getting a lot of good messages when people were finding out you were coming back on.
Oh, yeah.
I had to look it up, and it's been a year and some change since the last time you were on.
Oh, yeah. It shouldn't be like that.
I was going to say, can you let people know why you're avoiding us? Or
Definitely not avoiding you guys. Just super busy. And you guys don't ask me to come on. You know I'll make time.
Whoa, see, now you sound like you're putting it back on us, and that's completely unfair.
Well, it is. It's on you.
You know what? I'll take that. I'll eat that. How are you, though? How's life treating you?
Oh, life is treating me like everybody else. Life is cool. Lots of things happening, lots of changes. Even though 2021 was rough for a lot of reasons, I actually had a pretty decent year figuring out what I wanted to do, how I wanted to do it, trying to figure out where I fit in. And I'm glad that I had the time to do it.
That's good. One of the praises that I always sing of you is that you move like a Jamaican, and you're able to tap into so many different avenues and maintain so many different avenues so well, all while being, you know what I'm saying, a single mother and, you know, just really raising a household. I will always commend that because I have a hard enough time raising myself, all while trying to operate all this stuff and going to a brick and mortar company. So definitely big kudos to you.
Well, thank you. You know, I'm not going to lie. I don't get sleep. So there's a sacrifice that comes with it. You know, not everybody can sacrifice that or has the ability to. I'm thankful that I've been able to create things that help me support me and my family. And then, I can still be a creative. So I'm thankful and thank you for that. I'm
noticing that sleep is overrated. Sleep is ghetto.
Oh, gosh, it's so ghetto.
And it's like, you know, you embrace the things that are ghetto because it allows you to let loose your inner ratchetness, you know, but you don't do it all the time. So, no, I'm right there with you. 3 hours, I'll complain the rest of the day. But, 3 hours and then I'm getting to work.
Yeah. Sleep is definitely important. But what I feel is that you grind hard. You have to lose sleep for a little bit so that you can have, a lifetime of, being in bed by 10, if you're lucky. Because I feel like no matter what, I'm always going to be going hard, no matter what. Even
absolutely
when I hit my goals of the income, even when I'm on platforms that I want to be on, I'm still going to be, hey, Los, guess what I'm thinking about doing? Like it's always going to be that,
And she says this, and that's literally how the beat became a thing. Is that we were just trying to come up with new material going into 2021 and having new content, especially with us officially, being a part of Amazon Video. But that's subtle brag, humble brag. Just coming up with different content and stuff like that. I'm telling you, man, this girl, she works her ass off. She definitely puts in the time, and she's definitely going to reap the benefits. Already reaping the benefits of it. So people have been asking, the world want to know. I'm pretty sure that they've been looking at the block, peeping the boulevard. What's good? We're going to get you back on soon?
Yeah. So, sometimes things happen and it just throws me off. I think I had like a guest and they flaked, and then another company was like, nah. And I just was like, man. And I just kind of was like, got totally engulfed by other things. And so I kind of just went on a little bit of a break. from Melanin Boulevard. And what I'm going to do just to take the pressure off myself is probably just take off from like November to mid-January from Melanin Boulevard, because I do a lot and I do need that little bit of a break to regroup, figure out, how I'm going to come back. Right. But yes, Melanin Boulevard is going to be back. I'm booking guests right now so that I can kind of have my pipeline ready and, guests already in line to go. I will be doing the Rant with Rach. I'll be booking guests for that. I'm excited about that. And just putting out the content, and that's the most important thing, is putting out the content and talking to the people, getting the people exposed that need to be. So I am excited about bringing it back.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, Rant with Rach, that's going to be something that you do live through your platform. But we're going to do the edited version and releasing that through Beat. So tell the people what they can look forward to with Rant with Rach.
So I feel like
Rant with Rach. I feel like I just ran through that whole
Rant with Rach.
It's all about your phonemes and homonyms.
So with Rant with Rach, I felt like Melanin Boulevard has gotten very serious and very business focused in the last year, because I do a lot of interviews with business people that are making moves out here. So I kind of felt like my personality didn't kind of shine through, because it's all about everybody else. Not that that's a problem, because I love it. But it was just very serious. So Rant with Rach for me is going to be something that I can have a little bit more relaxed fun with, and show my personality and kind of how I really am. I'm very raw. I never know what's going to come out of my mouth. Sometimes I shock myself, but it'll be just me, just chop it up with different people about random topics, things that they want to get off their chest, things that we want to talk about specifically. One of the first ones, I'm not sure in which order it'll drop. I'm going to be doing kind of a rant with Detroit Worldwide podcast. And I'm going to order the Detroit snacks. So the Fagos and the chips that they eat, I've never had them, so I want to taste them. And so I figured, why not do it live and talk to the person that's from Detroit? So that's how I'm going to kind of rock that.
To all the Detroit listeners, to all the Detroit ear hustlers, make sure y'all tune in for that one. Because let me tell you, from between my friends and the Midwest ear hustlers in general, you hear a lot of shit about their regional specific things that they have out there. Like one thing with Baltimore, you always hear about the Mambo sauce. And one thing I always brag on when it comes down to Ohio is Grippos. I wish they had Grippos out here, but whatever it is. So I'm pretty sure people are going to look forward to seeing you testing these Detroit specific things. Just don't try the murder part of it,
yeah, I was going to definitely leave that part out, but if it comes in a box, it comes in a box. It is what it is.
Listen, they can send a few things from Detroit. I've heard a lot of trafficking issues coming out of the D. So no, that's dope. And I've told you before, I'm excited to have you back. Excited to see what 2021 looks like for you, for us as a whole with Beat, and yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm here for it.
So real quick, just some quick updates, and I should have had the promo out a long time ago, so do apologize for that. As I said on the last episode, the transition into 2021 has been a bitch, but we are doing the best that we can out here. Turn My Mic Up will be back this Wednesday. That is January 13th. We're coming at y'all with our anticipated albums of 2021. It's not a prediction. It's not, what we think is going to happen. Is what we want to happen when it comes down to hip hop. It's going to be a solid episode. The whole team is back in it. The band is back together, ready to talk some shit with our hip hop viewers. We've been going back and forth with a lot of the cats on the Turn My Mic Up page. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to the heads that continuously post in there, continuously introduce intriguing conversations just as much as y'all do shit talking when it comes down to certain shit in hip hop. So we're ready to get the show back on, and we're going to be inviting some of those people from the Turn My Mic Up page to hop on the show as it becomes available, because we don't want to just fill it up with just our opinions. We want to make sure we have as many opinions as we can get, and as many, insightful dialogues that we can get attached to the show itself. And what better place than the people who have been doing the most talking in the group. So if you haven't yet, go ahead and jump on, turn my mic up. Hip Hop Conversations. There we go. That's the name of it. Turn my mic up, Hip Hop Conversations on Facebook. Join. It's an open group. Hop on, join the conversation, post. It's a safe-ish place. If you go in there with any kind of love of Drake or, I guess white rappers, be ready to have a conversation with the folks. But everybody goes about it, with nothing but respect. And y'all know it's hip hop. Shit gets heated, but it'll never get disrespectful. So, come on through, join the fray. Also, as I was speaking of, and that promo will be out this week, that actually is going to be a top 10 of the greatest FOH unpopular opinions, because FOH will be back the end of this month under a new format. Really looking forward to that. So make sure y'all check for that promo as well. Anything you want to throw out there?
I'm mad that they voted me off.
I mean, and I have to be honest with you, Rach, you my people, but I gotta be honest with you. The Biker Boys thing is going to be in there.
I like that movie.
I mean, it's a solid movie. It's a solid movie, but for those that don't know, Rach says that Biker Boys is better than Fast and Furious. I was going to be extra and be like, she said it's better than the Fast and Furious franchise, but
you just going to put some icing on top of it?
You know what I'm saying? Just put a little dab on there, put a little something on there. And but no, trust me, that's not the most extreme opinion that we've had on FOH. Trust me, Jay Alonso may make like 2 appearances low key, with his taste buds. But yeah, y'all just look out for that, man. It's gonna be a great time. It's gonna be an absolute great time. I really look forward to it. We are gonna completely take over 2021. I need y'all to really understand that. We're already coming at y'all every day with the beat. Yep. We already got our shows that's been going on. There's so much content that's cooking. Yeah, man. It's going to be a great time.
I love it.
So let me ask you this. As far as 2021, did you set a resolution?
No, I don't really do resolutions. I just make my goals, Once I reach that goal, I work on another one. I just don't believe in like starting points, and I'm not I hate time. Like I've had full anxiety attacks over like time and the measurement of time. Like when I was pregnant and with my first child, they send you these alerts that say like 60 days left. And on a particular time, they was like 37 days. And I just lost my shit. So I don't do well with like feeling like I am on a timer. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I set my goals and I'm gentle with myself because things happen and I work towards those goals. Once I reach those goals, I set some more. But the January 1st thing, I'm not here for it. I don't like it.
No, I understand that. It's the same approach that I had going into this year. I've never been a resolution type dude. I think I've only set one resolution maybe in like 2004, some completely irrelevant time in my life. But I'm the exact same way. I just try to go into every year forgetting whatever the fuck I went through in that previous year. And I think we all want to forget what happened in 2020. But of course, we do got to address the fact that we're kind of still dealing with the after effects of what happened in 2020. As I said on the beat, it's like it farted in the room and then walked out. We still got some linger. We still got a little bit of cloud in the air. But no, I'm right there with you. I set my goals. And I just choose to move, in a positive way. I choose to move in a way that's going to benefit me, benefit my mental, benefit my business, and just making sure we make 2021 a hell of a year.
Definitely.
So what we got to do is what we got to do. So let's go ahead and get into the show. I want to say my usual. This probably won't be that long of an episode, especially because we're recording it on Monday. But we can't really plot out the conversations, and this is somebody that I speak to damn near every day. And the conversations can get lengthy, so we'll see what happens. Let's start with the bullshit, because there was definitely some bullshit this week. So 2 of the officers that were involved in the Breonna Taylor raid have officially lost their jobs. I don't have their names or anything pulled up, but this is one of the stories that we talked about in the beat. And we just wanted to expand on it. So one of them lost their job for the amount of shots that they rang off into her apartment, and the other one failed to, what was it, submit paperwork dealing with the actual raid itself.
Right. I think it was like the warrant or something to that effect.
It's insane because how are you just now losing your job for warrant paperwork that you never submitted? So it's like the no-knock warrant never existed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's outrageous. It's still legal to kill Black people out here because nobody's going to jail for killing Black people. Right. They're going to jail or they're not even going to jail. They're losing their jobs for the things that were surrounding. But nobody is getting any consequences for killing Black people, and that's a problem.
Absolutely. We know what the official charge was, the wanton endangerment bullshit for putting holes in her white neighbors' walls. But yeah, you're right. You know, it's legal to harass, to kill Black people. Well, and obviously I know it's illegal for murder, but y'all know what we're trying to say. It's pretty much legal to cause harm to a Black man and to a Black woman with very little to no repercussions outside of losing your job. And I mean, just because they were fired from there don't mean they can never work as police officers again. They can go to a completely different district. They can go to a completely different state, because at this point, nothing's really keeping them where they are, especially because they don't have a job.
Yeah, they could go work anywhere. They could go get a job at Walmart and Coast. They could, because they had enough time to pull out their pensions. They had enough time to do all these things. They should not be able to access those benefits that were paid by the Americans. Like, no, you should not be able to pull out your pensions and your 401ks. All that shit should go to the family. Yo,
that's a strong ass point, and it makes it make more sense why they delayed the firing for so long. Because if you're going to fire this dude for not properly filing the paperwork for the warrant, which completely invalidates the no-knock warrant, here we are all this time later, and you're just now firing him. So yeah, they had the time to pull out the pension. They had time to cash out the 401k and be good. And we already know they really put some money behind those cops when it comes down to their retirement, because the ones that are supposed to protect and serve do put a lot on the line when they go out and they put on that uniform and they patrol the streets. Supposed to, again. So yeah, you're walking away with a nice little chunk of change. I know both of those dudes had some solid time put in at their department. So they left in really good standing. And it's not, and again, it's not like they can't, go work elsewhere. You mentioned working at Walmart or something like that. These niggas can go be cops anywhere else again.
Yeah. Unfortunately they can. I don't know if that's going to change because, if you do something in one state, you should not be able to go to another state. They should be able to pull your background. Just like if you was working at wherever, at Foot Locker, and you was stealing shoes, and you got caught for it, you got prosecuted or whatever, fired for it, and they do your background, they should not be able to go somewhere else and be able to work.
Absolutely.
No, like that's not how that should work at all. And so that shows us, again, the system that we're working with and how the police department originated. Like, they're still working together. They're still doing the things that they need to do to make sure that, that Black people are not treated and not fairly. They don't have a fair trial. They don't have a fair prosecution team. It's just not right. Zimmerman is walking around here like he got his whole life together. He's
signing Skittles and Arizona teas and shit.
Yeah, that's some bullshit. Like, somebody go ahead and handle that because
might as well.
It's like, it's a slap in the face, and I don't trust the system. I don't believe in the system. And there are some great police officers out there. Yes, there are, but there's a whole bunch of police officers that ain't shit. And there was a whole Netflix documentary on it too.
There's a gang of great police officers that aren't speaking up for the shit.
Right.
One Black dude last year that spoke against, a potential killing of an unarmed Black person, and that nigga got fired.
Right. Yeah.
I can't remember his name to save my life, but yeah, I remember that just happened towards like the end of 2020. He spoke out against some corrupt shit that was going on, and they fired him. Like, come on, man, y'all motherfuckers is wilding. And I also saw a video not too long ago. I wouldn't be surprised if that brother was fired. But they had a black dude in handcuffs. I'm not saying he did something, not saying he didn't do anything, but they had him in handcuffs and he was mouthing off to the police like we all do. And the fucking cop swung at him. So then the black officer handed the dude over to another cop and put that nigga in cuffs. I guarantee you he was reprimanded in some kind of way when he got back to his station.
Yeah, it's kind of like the one band, one sound. Like, if you're not with us, you against us. And, you know, there was a documentary about the NYPD and how corrupt it was and how these police officers were being paid off. And, you know, that they were all prosecuted because one of them snitched, told on everybody. But, you know, if you were the partner of somebody who was corrupt and you weren't corrupt, you're going to be corrupt, or nobody's going to back you when you call in that call for a shooting and you're by yourself. Like, nobody's going to help you. So that's what they have to deal with, you know, and it's disappointing.
It's interesting that a lot of these cops don't look at their silence as just another form of corruption. Like the fact that you're not stepping up to turn these people in, to out these motherfuckers for who they are and how corrupt they are. You're just as much a part of the problem. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because like, oh, okay, well, my kids ain't eating, so I'm going to not eat too. No, your kids still aren't eating. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't change the fact that what's going on is going on. And it's just, it's ridiculous. Like, it's truly ridiculous when you really put, you know, thought behind it. And, well, shit, you really don't even need thought behind it. You could just look at the headlines and see how ridiculous it is.
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, I know that police brutality happens across all races, you know, and the media has control over what they choose to put out there.
What's the sauce of your story?
But the fact is that it's blatant, the differences between how Black people are treated and how other races are treated, you know, and as a Black woman, I'm going to speak for myself, you know, and for my people. And, you know, when things were happening to the people, like Mexican people being caged up, I'm going to speak up about it. You know what I mean? Because it's wrong. It wasn't happening to us, but we can still speak up about it. Right. But I do know that a lot of things are happening to Black people and we're being executed left and right.
So two things, and I'm gonna circle back to speaking up for other races, but kind of rewinding to what you said about they shouldn't be able, like, background checks should be just as extensive as it is for getting a job at a gas station. You know what I mean? I think that there was one of the cops, and I always have to ask for forgiveness when I'm bringing this up because it's so much that has happened that I forget names and I forget situations. But one of the cops that killed an unarmed Black person was transferred from a different department because of his aggressiveness and because of how he would handle certain situations, specifically with Black people. So I'm saying, they don't give a fuck. And instead of just letting his ass go, you know, they transfer him to another department, and here we got another Black body in another fucking protest, which y'all hate so much. But y'all creating this shit. Y'all allowing this shit to happen. And it's ridiculous.
It's kind of like, yeah, we know this person steals out the cash register, but what we gonna do? We're gonna move them to fries, and maybe it might get better. You know, like,
he might get better. And turns out he threw grease on the motherfucker that ratted him out about stealing money from the register.
Right. You know, I'm not understanding what their protocol is. People get fired for less in jobs that affect a lot less people. Right. You know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
And touching on your point that you made, you know, when you're speaking up for wrong is wrong. Yeah, you know, as people of color, as the quote minority of the United States, yeah, we're going to ride for other minorities in the country. But as you also stated, we're going to also recognize when wrong is wrong. Kyle Rittenhouse, that piece of shit, killed 2 people at a Black Lives Matter rally, and one of them just so happened to be a white person. And guess what? We said his fucking name.
Yeah. And you know what? I don't know if this is the same person. Didn't someone that ran over protesters, they're not going to be prosecuted. They're not going to jail. Nope. And that
protester was white, and we said her name.
Right.
But he just got off recently, didn't he?
Yeah, it was just like an article that was dropped either yesterday or today that he will not be going to jail. So you mean to tell me that you can take your 1,000+ pound vehicle and you can drive it into a crowd and kill people and not go to jail?
Just because you're upset that there's a Black Lives Matter rally going on.
It just, like, where are the repercussions? Where are the consequences at?
There aren't any. There aren't any. And like you said, unless it's a saucy story, that shit's not going to get pushed to the forefront. Because you see how quietly they reported that.
Mm-hmm. Like, nobody's been talking about it.
We came across that story when we was looking for stories for the beat. There was no, like, it didn't hit social media crazy. You know, you didn't see a pop-up on television. Like, they just, by the way, this guy's getting off. But people's going on with Kanye. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Like, if you're going to really tap into this whole thing, tap into it all.
Mm-hmm. It makes it really hard because it's so much that happens. And, you know, you don't want to overwhelm yourself with that emotion because there's a lot of emotion behind it. I know one thing, the videos of, you know, Black people being murdered, I absolutely cannot watch, and I will not watch it because it affects my emotion. It affects me. And, you know, I'll read about it to a certain extent, but we already know what happens. And I just can't, what we have to do is start protecting our energy, because I made a statement that said basically in so many words, like, words are spells, right? Words manifest, words make things happen. And it just wasn't sitting right with me, all of these protests and people saying like, I can't breathe. Yes, I can. It should have been, I can breathe. We're here. We're going to stand up. We take on the emotions and the energy of things that happen to other people. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just how I feel.
No, I completely understand where you're coming from. And it is it teaches own situation, how you choose to, you know, grieve the person that we lost, and how you choose to protest for the unjust killing of that person is how you choose to do it. So no, you're definitely not wrong for feeling as if the terminology should have been different. Not at all.
And I feel like that's the way that we can take our power back. Because
absolutely.
For me, it's basically saying like, no, we're here and we can breathe, and we're going to keep breathing for George Floyd, and we're going to keep breathing for Breonna Taylor. You know, we're going to keep breathing. I feel like that should be what it is, because that is more powerful than saying that I can't breathe, because now we're weak at that point. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. To me, be careful with what you say. Be careful with what you put into your mind, the things that you view. Because it affects us on a daily basis. Right.
No, I'm one of those guys that I watch all the videos, and it's not because I go in there and think, or being morbid, God, I want to see this Black person get killed, because it literally takes a chunk out of me every time I see it. The Philando Castile murder, that it haunts me, from the shooting to the daughter trying to calm her mother down, and the daughter was only 4 at the time. Having to understand the repercussions of her mother losing her mind in the backseat. But I watch them because I want to remove any and all doubt. I want to remove any and all doubt that I know these motherfuckers going to try to jump up. Oh, well, he did this, he did that. Now, I saw the same shit you saw. He ain't do none of that. Mm-hmm. He ain't do anything that you mentioned. So I do that to remove all doubt, even though it truly does pick at me, and it truly does affect me.
I think, you know, there should be no doubt, and we need to not allow them to justify their treatment, because they've safely taken white people down that had AKs. They've safely taken people down that had bombs strapped to them. But you mean to tell me somebody who has cigarettes, you had to choke him out?
Had to.
Ain't no justification in that at all. And
with an illegal choke that was recognized by their police chief. That's all.
Yeah, all chokes should be illegal. The fact is that they should be trained enough to be able to handle these situations without killing somebody, even though they made a choice to kill somebody because they knew that they would get away with it.
That's why I get so tired of hearing he was a rookie. Oh, he was 20 years old. I can give a fuck about that. You could join the army at 18. So if you're really going to be somebody that's going to protect and serve, then you should have the exact same training that the military people have. You know, if you want to tweak it to make it specific to, you know, to policing neighborhoods and shit like that, yeah, do that. But they shouldn't get any less training that military people get, because if we're going to trust 18 and 19-year-olds to go fight a war for us, then I should be able to trust the 18 and 19-year-old cop who's getting out there and supposed to be protecting and serving.
Right. And a lot of times what's crazy is these cops are not rookies.
Right. Oh yeah. It's always, you know, either they have been in for 20 plus years or they just fucking started. You never get the in between. And it's saddening. And, you know, to me, it's really offensive that they waited this long to fire them for something that they knew when it happened, there was no warrant properly filed. They knew that. So you let them settle their affairs before you say, okay, now I gotta let you guys go. Cause, you know, they're still saying the Breonna Taylor lady's name. So now we gotta act on it. Nah, put their asses in prison. Plain and simple. Yeah. Especially when you already had the nigga locked up that y'all claim was, you know, involved with her. You already had him. He already testified that nothing was there. So what's the point of a no-knock warrant? What's the point of any of that shit? I'm sorry, you come through my crib and I don't know who the fuck you are, and you admitted you did not announce yourself. Yeah, I'm shooting. Absolutely shooting. Because guess what? I don't live in the best of neighborhoods, and there's a motherfucker coming through my door that I ain't invite.
Even if you do live in the best neighborhood, true. Look at Jeezy.
Oh, facts. Shit, look at Dre. They burglarized his home as soon as they found out he was in the hospital for an aneurysm.
Diddy's home just got burglarized as well. The home that him and Kim Porter lived in.
Diddy house, LL Cool J a couple years ago had to beat the shit out of that dude that came in through his roof. You know what I mean? And that dude ended up suing LL. You know what I mean?
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. We can talk about this all day, but two officers were fired. Two former officers were fired. Definitely should be more. Rest in peace to Breonna Taylor. Rest in peace to every victim of police brutality. Because at the end of the day, these motherfuckers need to get in line. They need to get in line fast. So if we're going from outlandish and wild police officers, just outlandish and wild white people. So this has been the story of 2021 already.
Yeah, this is that residual fart that's left over.
Exactly, and this is the one that they had nothing but red meat too.
Oh my God,
nothing but red meat, and they went to sleep on it, so it was just in the stomach going. This is a Dutch oven fart of 2020 rolling over. So I'm sure y'all have already seen. Trump had a rally the same day that they were doing the final count for the election, where of course Joe Biden, president-elect, won again. And he knew that the shit wasn't right. So ultimately, he called for an insurrection. He called for a riot. You know, he tried to say he didn't and they were just riled up or whatever, but get the fuck out of here. Anyway, so a bunch of people stormed the Capitol. Can't even say they bust down the doors because there's plenty of videos of them being let in behind the guardrails and in the front door itself. They destroyed the inauguration podium just in time because we got 10, 15 days until the actual inauguration itself. So now you got to rebuild the podium. I don't even think I think they said it's not going to be done in time, is it?
I don't know. I have no idea.
But yeah, you know, they went in there, they caused all this damage to one of the most historic buildings. I think I saw on the news the last time a storming of the Capitol happened was in 1912. And that was over something that was actually supposed to be revolutionary. Y'all motherfuckers stormed the Capitol because your president lost? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. It was a hot mess, but one thing I am here for are the memes.
Oh, absolutely.
The Nintendo one or the the Mario Brothers one with the person climbing the wall and then they fall and the noise. I love it. I love every bit.
I saw one where they had the dude reaching out for that lady that's trying to pull her up, but they switched the dude's head with Scar.
Oh no!
Giving her the Mufasa treatment. I thought that one was hilarious.
Oh my goodness! Like, I'm just trying to figure out what the thought process was behind climbing the walls. Like, I don't get it.
That's the part I don't get because we're clearly going through the fucking front door.
Right. Like, I don't know why you have to climb the wall.
I'm just going to be last one in, it sounds like. I'm not about to climb this. I'm not about to scale a wall like it was another door up there or something.
There was old, like when I say old, I'm talking about like low key has Alzheimer's old. There was like old people in there. There was a lady in a wheelchair with no legs. Like how did these people just get in, you know?
There was another meme that I saw because there was another old lady that was just standing there with a flag and smiling, and it says she don't even know what she don't even know what's going on. Somebody took that meme and they put it next to that clip from SpongeBob where the old guy saw all the young people approaching him. Talking about, oh, I love the young people. Like, yeah, that's exactly what she was looking like. She didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Right.
But I don't think any of them knew what the fuck was going on.
Even the girl that she got maced, and she was like, it's a revolution of what?
Right.
Of you being mad? Like, it's a no.
But that also goes into the care and the amount of, I guess, importance that they see in Black lives, because the same lady, they're shooting revolutionaries. They're not supposed to shoot the patriots. They're supposed to shoot Black Lives Matter.
Oh,
so you're gonna recognize that that we're getting killed left and right? She
said what she said.
And then it also reminded me of that cop that made that joke to that white guy when they put him on. Don't worry, we only shoot Black people.
Yeah.
Like, nigga, your body cam's on. We can hear you.
Like, how do you forget about that? How do you forget they're not really watching?
Right, as if they're not really watching. Like, this shit ain't just strapped to your chest. But that also tells you a lot about the departments. Because I know that ain't the first time he made a fuck nigga comment like that. But because all that gets uploaded and we can pull it and we can find it, somebody found that shit. But that rally, one, was a complete and utter fucking waste of time. Two, I hate how they tried to handle it when it came down to arresting those people. What the fuck is the FBI putting out a fucking tweet and post talking about we need help finding these people?
They were all on camera.
They all were on camera. We've been posting their names and their occupations. How are these people getting fired before you get their names? Like, nigga, y'all found Pookie, you know what I'm saying, in Inglewood, who ain't got any social media for selling drugs, but you can't find any of these motherfuckers. Kiss my ass. Y'all got me fucked up.
What I love is that one guy got fired because he had his work badge on. Not because he was at the rally, but because he had his work badge on, he gets fired. And I love Black Twitter. Shout out to Black Twitter.
Big up.
Because, listen, if I need to do a background check on anybody, I'm not going on the internet and paying for. I'm about to hit up Black Twitter and say, hey, I need y'all to find me the scoop on this person. They will find it. They'll get the address. They'll get where they work. They'll give me their work shift and everything. They'll get it all.
Loved ones, Twitter. Relationships, the whole nine. They'll find everything you need to find out.
Right.
Yeah. So it was very insulting for FBI to say, oh, we need help finding these people, as if they all weren't running to be on camera. Some of these motherfuckers did interviews talking about the things that they did.
Yeah.
Then the dude that was in Nancy Pelosi's office with his feet on her desk and took a piece of her mail.
And you can't even open your mama mail. Like,
exactly.
Like, that's a crime. Like, you broke into the office. You stole some, like, come on, man. Like, come the fuck on.
Oh, yeah. You gonna sit here and open my welfare check? You got me fucked up. Black kids have been beaten for less.
Right.
And my man that got out the whole building with a piece of her mail, which is a federal crime. We can't forget about that part. You can't be out here stealing people's mail. And that's what he did. And I forgot what bullshit excuse he gave to why he took the mail. But at the end of the day, he should have been one of the first cats you snatched up, because he took the mail, took pictures of himself in the office. So that's proof that he was there. He took the mail, which is, again, a federal crime. And then he did an interview about it, bragging about it.
Just the caucasity. The
caucasity of it all. It is at its most high now that Trump is on his way out. And I don't need people to pretend as if something bigger isn't coming. I don't need people to pretend as if, that inauguration is going to be 100% safe. Outside of him just being a fuck nigga. There's a reason Trump ain't going.
Yeah, Pence said he'll be there.
Who they called for his death, they called for his head. Listen, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he failed to do the 25th, the 25th Amendment. But we'll see. We'll
definitely see what happens. But above all, the biggest takeaway from this rally at the Capitol is, one, y'all got some fucking nerves thinking that this is anything compared to what Black Lives Matter is about. Y'all got some true fucking nerves. Be ashamed of yourself. And two, it was a glaring example of white privilege. To all the people who deny white privilege, says it doesn't exist, says that they've gone through hardships and all this other stuff, every time you feel as if this shit don't exist, YouTube a different video from that fucking storming of the Capitol, from that quote revolution. from that insurrection. Look up a video dealing with that. Because you never hear about FBI needing help finding any of us. They just arrest us on the spot because the National Guard was already there. Extra police was already there. I've seen rallies get called, especially out here in Vegas. Rallies and protests literally get planned a day before, even the morning of. These niggas have been screaming January 6th for about a month now.
And I want to say, I don't know the number. I'm going to put out two numbers. They said either 40,000 or 400,000 tips were given and nothing happened. 40,000. I remember that exact story too. 40,000 tips. And yet here we are. Oh, we still need help finding these people because y'all agree. Y'all are Trump people. Yeah.
Y'all are Trumpers.
It shows. When I went to Philadelphia and DC this past, I think it was October, something like that. I was just minding my business, walking down the street, and all of a sudden police are like blocking off the streets. I hear sirens. I'm like, oh shit, what happened? Mind you, I'm in DC and I'm looking like, I don't know. So we can't go anywhere. So we're kind of stuck. All of a sudden we see a group of people just walking down the street. They're protesting. Not even a whole bunch of people. I would say maybe 100 people walking down the street, protesting peacefully on bikes and on foot, and police officers are just following them. I'm like, surrounding them, blocked off streets and everything so that they wouldn't go in certain places. Of course, they're trying to make sure they don't get to the White House, but
of course.
But yeah, they was there before they even got there.
I was watching a video from MSNBC from Joe Scarborough. What's going on with my speech today? Anyway, from Joe Scarborough, and he it's like a 7-minute rant, and he got straight to the point. Mind you, this is live on TV, MSNBC, but one of the things he said towards it was basically, y'all do all this heavy policing of the Capitol any other day, but the day of an insurrection, y'all open the door, or how he put it on live TV. You open the fucking door for them. He hit the nail on the head throughout that entire rant because it's the Capitol. If there's anywhere that security should be the highest next to the White House, would be the Capitol.
And on that day, I mean, come on.
And on that day where they're doing the final fucking count. It should have been military out there already, especially when you hear motherfuckers saying, oh, just wait for January 6th. It should have looked like Beirut at the Capitol. Yeah,
I think that, certain things are done to incite certain emotions, and we have to look at the bigger picture here. We knew they was going to act a fool,
right? But
the bigger picture is why they were able to get so close. I think that there's more things that we don't know as to why that was allowed to happen. Because I honestly don't understand why he was the only one to kind of make that call on if there should have been military or someone there. You know what I mean? It had to be somebody else. He can't be the last say or the first say, really.
My conspiracy, I'll call it for now, is it kind of goes into what I was just saying earlier. They're Trump people. A lot of the people who are in power when it comes down to law enforcement are Trump people. They love that man so much for what he's done. And they follow him, with their heads held high. We've seen multiple police chiefs, we've seen multiple police captains, at these rallies, deputies, what's that coon, that black dude that loved getting on CSN?
Is it Ben Carson?
CNN. Not Ben Carson. He's a sheriff. And he always calls Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. Like he goes out of his way to disrespect Black Lives Matter. I can't remember his name, but fuck him either way. But all of these dudes love Trump. They love what he stands for. They love what he represents, and they love, his leadership in the country. Because it's very reminiscent of what leadership looked like back when Martin Luther King was walking the streets.
Even before they want to make America great again. It was great to them when they was having free labor. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And you know, Trump loves some free labor.
Oh, absolutely. He the laziest nigga on earth running running the country.
Yeah, you know, his buildings that he's built, he's had issues with labor, you know, paying the people who built them in other countries. So make America great again means make people slaves again.
Exactly. It was much easier times back then. But yeah, like I feel as if it was a very selective situation that the security was lax. I won't go all the way on the limb and say that it was planned for security to be lax, but I'm pretty sure that the same call that was put in to make sure that there was military police in front of the Capitol when Black Lives Matter was protesting there, I'm pretty sure that call somehow didn't get put in this time around when they were doing the final count for the U.S. presidency. But, you know, that's neither here nor there.
It slipped their mind.
It just, you know, silly me. There was a lot going on. So there's that. And then there's also, outside of just the police chiefs and police captains, the actual police themselves. We watched them open the gates, and then we watched them open the doors, and then we watched them take selfies with these people. They may have been a part of the insurrectionists that were actually planning all this stuff.
I'm suspecting. I don't know.
You know, we can't pretend as if, you know, somebody went in on it, because you moved it so gracefully. You helped a lady down the stairs. You know what I mean? Right. Like, nobody rushed you. They waited until you moved the gate. The door opened very slowly. No doors broken down. I saw on Breakfast Club, one of the dudes was so entitled to get inside that he's yelling inside to one of the security officers, "Hey, open the door."
just all nonchalant. Hey, hey,
you know, like he forgot his keys or some shit. You know what I mean? I ain't never felt entitled to get up in somebody else's shit like that. But hey, yo, can you open the door, please? Appreciate you. You know what I mean? Like, nah.
And I just love how, like, in certain situations, COVID rules just go out the door. Right.
Completely out the door. But listen, what has Trump been saying? What has he been displaying? Don't forget, he took off the mask once he got back to the White House to show you, oh, I'm better than COVID and all this other shit. Mm-hmm. And when all this stuff dropped, he told people, go outside, don't wear your mask, live your life as normal. As if people weren't dying left and right.
Right.
Again, all these people stand for what that piece of shit stand for.
True.
And they're gonna rock with that. And they're gonna rock with that until they get the America that they're trying to get. But yeah, we watched them do that. There was one officer that I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of like, I was pretty upset watching him run away, making them feel all empowered. Like the dude that was in front of the group marching up the stairs while the black cop was running away. You know, he just looked like, yeah, be afraid of me, black cop. Like, he looked so happy that this cop was running from him. And that really pissed me off. I'm like, man, if you don't let the chopper sing on these niggas.
Yeah, that one was, I hated to watch that. I really did. But I think there was an article that said, like, he did that on purpose, supposedly.
Yes, that's what I was going to get to.
And that he, actually saw that there were some senators or whoever that weren't secure. So he did that to kind of get them to go another direction. So, you know.
So, yeah. And after I read that same article, I ended up looking back at the footage. I want to believe it because I don't want to believe he just pussied out like that.
Right.
I want to believe it because it does look like he's, like, you know, picking at them, and as they get closer, that's when he decides to run away, but then he'll just stop running and let them draw in closer. So I'm like, if that's what he was doing, that was pretty slick. If that's not what he was doing, he was just trying to get the fuck out of Dodge. Bruh, you had a gun. You could have got out there much quicker.
Like, what's with the baton? Because it should be on site, to be honest. Like, it should be on site. And they were not coming in like, hello, we shall overcome, kumbaya, we just want to talk. They was on some, we're going to bust down the glass. We're going to fight you. There was an officer that was trampled. Like, they were on some violent behavior. They were
saying they wanted to kill Pence. Some of them were saying straight up, we're here for Pence's head.
I don't know if Pence was there, but, you know, whatever, you know, so I don't know. I thought it should have been on site.
It definitely should have been on site, but, you know, We know how it goes. It's all about the shade of the actual revolutionary than it is the actual revolution.
Right.
But yeah, hopefully the FBI isn't having too hard of a time finding them. If they do need help, please consult with Black Twitter. Mm-hmm. We have pulled all they cards. They'll be the easiest cast to find. So, a little more research, or we can just finish doing the job for you. However it works, make sure y'all get all these motherfuckers off the street. Y'all niggas is stupid. That was the dumbest. That is the dumbest revolution I've ever seen. Like nothing came from it, because at the end of the day, Biden is still going to be president come February, and Trump's about to get impeached. So now your favorite can't even run again.
Yeah, wouldn't it be wonderful if like all the races are just phased out? Like,
oh no, they're gonna go back into their little dig holes, like where they were during every other presidency. They felt comfortable to come out now because Trump was talking that talk.
Yeah.
But now they're going to try to go back into their holes, because now they know, one, we'll knock your shit off, and two, it's a good chance you actually might go to jail for your racist behavior.
Right. Yeah.
But again, we know y'all seen it. Y'all see all the videos. Y'all saw the memes. Like Rach said, the memes are fucking hilarious. But yeah, go get those thugs and hoodlums. Go get those animals. You know what really pissed me off? Is that when there is another protest, unfortunately, because we know there's going to be another black body on the street, they're going to call us hoodlums. They're going to call us animals. They're going to call us wild. They're going to do all this shit. These motherfuckers was in the Capitol taking shits and rubbing it on the wall.
What? I didn't know that.
You didn't see that?
No, I did not.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. When you get the chance, look it up. There are articles saying that they were defecating in the Capitol and smearing it everywhere.
Okay. All right. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah.
I need to know the brand of audacity, and if they get at Costco, Target, because I just need a little bit of the audacity,
It's at the farmers markets. It's
that
at the
is
farmers
disgusting.
Markets, and it's at Whole Foods. That's where they get it from.
I've never seen what aisle. No. But that's disgusting. And the caliber of people. I mean, come on now. If they weren't missing at least 2 teeth, they're at the wrong rally.
No, they all were cousin fuckers. Every last one of them. Oh, God. I am my own grandpa ass niggas. You know what I mean? That's all they were. And they showed you in that. So it's like, nah, you can miss me with that animal talk. You can miss me with that wild talk. You can miss me with all of that. Cause y'all had y'all first revolution and y'all became everything that you say that we are. So I'm good.
Right.
There don't need to be no more talk from there.
None at all.
So before we get up out of here, let's get into some pleasant conversation.
Okay.
So my lovely co-host of the day, she hit me with some info of the most streamed artists of the 2010s decade.
Yes.
And this is this lets me know streaming has completely taken over the world.
Yeah, of course. I mean, when's the last time you bought a CD?
Oh, it's been a while.
Yeah, I and how people are like, yeah, buy my album on Apple. No, I'm not about to buy your album on Apple.
Buy your album.
Stream this. What are you talking about?
I got you on the streams, homie, but I don't know about that. I may save it to my playlist, at least the songs I like.
Right.
I'm definitely not contributing that 10.
Yeah, $9.99 a song or 99 cents a song. Yeah, nah. Anybody that wants me to buy like their song, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I'm not gonna buy it. I'll stream it though. I might give you a spin on the radio. Might get your song played on the radio station, but I ain't gonna buy it.
People need to understand that here in Las Vegas, we have the most local rappers than anywhere else in the country. I'm not dedicating my dollar to all these niggas.
Man. Yeah, so I can go over the most streamed artists of the 2010s decade. This is of the decade. So Drake comes in at number 1 at 36.6 billion.
Whew.
Post Malone at 18.9 billion. Eminem 17.8 billion. Ariana Grande at 13.9 billion. Future, which this is actually sort of a shock for me.
Right, I said the same shit.
Future is at 13.9 billion. Okay, Future. For all the people that do Percocets. The Weeknd, 13.6 billion.
See, you just made it make sense because everyone is doing drugs now. That is very true. Very true.
It makes sense, right? So The Weeknd, 13.6 billion. Taylor Swift, she always finds a way to just get on there.
Oh, yeah.
And it's, you know, Taylor Swift, 13.3 billion. Xxxtentacion is 13 billion, which, you know, I think that came after he passed away, to be honest.
Yeah.
Ed Sheeran, that's an odd one, 12.9 billion. And Rihanna, 12.8 billion, which is a shocker because Beyonce isn't on this list.
I was going to say the exact same thing. It's very surprising. Beyonce isn't on here. Lady Gaga's not on here. Katy Perry's not on here, and they all had a very strong decade.
Yeah. But hey, we can't argue with the numbers. That's what the numbers say. So congratulations to them. I mean, Rihanna, how many albums did she have this decade? You know?
Well, Rihanna got that cult-like following. The Navy,
Oh yeah, I fucks with Rihanna.
But you know, it does go back to still Beyonce, because the Beehive is literally a cult.
I'm in both. I'm bi cult. Okay.
Mad memberships card, B.
It's whatever. Yeah. I fucks with Grande. She's still in rotation. Beyonce is always in rotation. So it's very shocking that Beyonce wasn't on the list, because if we can just talk about Lemonade alone, I would think that would be a big chunk of her streams. The tour behind it, the promo behind it, the HBO behind it. I'm in shock right now.
Yeah, no, it's super shocking. And another thing that's actually interesting is the gap between Drake and Post. Because 36 to 18, like, what a fucking jump. But then it also makes sense, because that's been, once Drake figured out his formula of just making catchy music, it makes sense that the stream is going to come that way, because that's all the people that did all of his challenges. And, you know, they did those challenges more than once just to make sure, and each of those count as a stream. Somewhere in that decade, he was making quality music somewhere.
But Post Malone, like, I'm not really a Post Malone fan. I don't see that one, but. So
me and Kev has had this conversation plenty of times on the show. I think Post Malone is the epitome of a swagger jacker. I think he's the epitome of someone that's stealing from the culture.
Of course.
It just sucks that sometimes he drops some hot ass singles, or he gives a hot ass and it infuriates me. It irks me that I feel that way. But Post makes sense, because the average consumer of hip hop nowadays are white people. Hence why you got Eminem at number 3, who had a very start and stop decade with his releases. But, you know, the average consumer of hip hop right now is hip hop. I mean, shit, the top 3 is 2.5 white people.
It is.
You know what I mean? So it makes sense to me, because Post gives them that opportunity to feel cool listening to hip hop, but they're also hearing it from somebody that looks like them.
True.
You know, and abides by the same, you know, mentalities as them. Shit, he just launched a beer pong league at the top of the year. So he's still very much so a white guy. And that's like, and that also doesn't surprise me that he's over Eminem. 1, because of the amount of music he put out, and 2, because he doesn't change who he is for the media. Now, I'm not saying Eminem ain't really about how he, you know, displays himself, but as a white person, you're going to tap more into the dude that acts like a white person than the guy that has a little more street cred, a little more hood to him. Right.
That's true. That is true. I don't see it. Yeah, he's not on my list.
Yeah, he's definitely not none of my playlist, but, you know, and I don't really see the allure to him, because to me, all of his albums have been trash. But like I said, he'll catch me with some singles here and there, and I'll be so sad at myself. Like, damn it. It's like that. Nope, not even gonna go that far. No, might as well. It's the noise. It's like the moment after men, when they jack off and then they catch a glimpse of themselves in the mirror. It's just instant shame on you. Just shame on you.
You can do better than
you
that.
can do. Go get some pussy. God damn it. But yeah, so that gap though is very interesting, and, you know, big up to Drake. Like, I'm not a Drake hater. I always say he does this thing where he'll put out a Lucy, he'll put out a single, and he'll gas, and he'll have me excited for the album. And then I hear the album, and the album is just doo-doo corn.
I like him.
I like Drake. I enjoy Drake. Nah, I just think he's starting to become a parody of himself. Like, every song sounds like somebody says, I want to make a song like Drake, but it just so happened to be Drake.
And I that sounds about right because, you know, Drake loves to act and he's a goofy nigga. And I feel that he gets joy out of making fun of his own self and the people love it. And so he's like, shit, well, I'm gonna keep doing it. So
I agree. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. I mean,
tap into what worked. We saw what happened with Pitbull and we saw what happened with Flo Rida. They was like, look, the niggas ain't paying. I'm finna get into this EDM bag.
Period. Yeah.
Like you said, Future is surprising.
Yeah,
Future is definitely surprising.
There's a few Future bangers that I like, you know, but I didn't think he'd be on this list. Not over like Jay-Z dropping a new album and I don't know about that one.
I'm surprised he's even over the Weeknd. Like it's super interesting to see him at 13.9. But now, granted, congratulations to all 10 of them. You know, I'm definitely not one to stop anybody's bag or hate on anybody's bag. It's just interesting because he does drop a lot of material, so that could possibly play into it. But for him to be the deadpan middle, him to be number 5 out of the 10 above Taylor Swift at that is shocking.
It is. Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug. Molly, Percocet, lean, the whole nine. But then again, like we just discovered, everybody's on drugs.
It's the whole movement, you know.
He makes really good drug music.
He does.
The Weeknd's position makes sense. Taylor Swift's position is a little surprising because she has a Beyonce-like following with white women, and gay men. Xxxtentacion. Okay, what's the nicest way I can say this?
He only got that because he died.
Yes.
I'll just say it for you. But I'm just really surprised, like, that he's that high though.
Yeah, over Ed Sheeran and Rihanna, because Ed had a big fucking decade.
Yeah,
Ed had a huge decade, and Rihanna's Rihanna.
Yeah, period.
So for him to be, you know, 8th, that's, I don't know. That doesn't make enough sense to me. But when people pass away, we do see their streams shoot up, and he did kind of become a symbol because he was like the first major rapper murdered in quite some time.
He actually was a little bit scary to me. His face mostly. He kind of freaked me out, and his music was sad, so I was just like, ooh, I don't know if I like this guy.
It's a lot going on.
Yeah, like what's the other Juice World? I just was like, kids, please don't listen to this because he's just sad. He don't have no friends. His friends are dead, and I don't want y'all listening to that because he makes sad music. It's depressing.
Didn't Juice World make the top 10 in 2020?
I think so.
It's another one of those situations. And same thing with Pop Smoke. You know,
but I liked Pop Smoke before.
You know, and it's no disrespect to any of these people. We're just kind of calling it how it is. There's a bunch of artists that none of y'all were checking for prior to them passing.
I hate that. You know, yeah, I really don't like when people do that. You wasn't really fucking with him before. It's cool if you go check his music out. Even the last guy, who's the last one that passed away? He was Asian Doll's boyfriend. What's his name?
I know who you're talking about. I can't think of his name.
But yeah, I was like, oh, I've never heard of this person. And I do radio. And I'm like, I don't know who this is. There's only so much I can keep up with. And I was like, let me go see if I can listen to a song. But I did not become a fan, you know. I liked Pop Smoke. I liked Pop Smoke before he died, you know. But it's just the people that jump on the bandwagon just because people pass away. I can't with that.
Yeah, it's just like the people that you see when they take pictures in front of, you know, protested buildings and stuff like that. Makes it like they were out there. Knowing now you were just trying to get your influencer game up.
Right.
But no, I'm right there with you. Like with me, and I think I just had this conversation not too long ago. I'm very curious how much changed in Pop Smoke's album from its release versus when it was actually done. Mm-hmm. Because once he passed away, that's when 50 Cent stepped in and got in his producer bag. And Pop Smoke made a lot of the same song. And again, I say that with respect. He made a lot of the same songs. But his singles are so different than his records. You know, that are on his album, like the Woo record. What what's the one that
For the Night?
For the Night. The one he got with Diddy's son. What's that record called? I can't remember. I can't think of the name of the record, but all of his singles sound so different from his actual music. So I'm very curious how much influence came from 50 Cent stepping in as an executive producer.
A lot. And passing away and 50 Cent.
Definitely. So I'm curious. You think you'll see him in the top 10 in 2030?
Oh, I don't know about that. No, I don't think his music's like that timeless. You know what I mean? And he doesn't have a catalog to.
This is true.
Yeah,
this is true. However, XXX died 3 years ago, and he made top 10 of the decade that fast.
But I think I don't know.
We could definitely see something come from it. But
and I also think like COVID had something to do with it too. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the shutdown. And so I think that influenced a lot of these numbers, especially like when people pass away. Now they got time to stream over and over. But
now we can listen to this album. But either way it go, man, congratulations to those 10. Big numbers. Fucking in the billions. That's insane. And also congratulations to the streaming services that steal from these artists, because that's a lot of fucking numbers.
Sure is. And
I know that they are not seeing the residuals of 36 billion as the actual streaming platforms are getting. So good job with y'all hustle. Y'all did what y'all came to do and then some, apparently. So big up to y'all. Rach, appreciate you coming on the show.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Definitely happy to hear you back in the podcast format. Of course, you can still check her out on Hot 702 as well. But let the people know where they can find you.
You can find me everywhere. Rach Da Gem, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Sometimes I snap. Check out Melanin Boulevard. Boulevard abbreviated on Instagram. Every Thursday in a couple weeks, I'll be dropping these new episodes. And you can listen to me on Thursdays on hot7025fm.com with The Morning Wood from 8 to 11 a.m. And the Kaleidoscope on Tuesdays, 5 to 6.
The hardest working woman in America. You can find me at Big Los IG on IG. You can follow The Noize at The Noize Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And, of course, follow everything Beat Network at beatnetworkonline.com. Definitely make sure y'all stay in tune to the website as well, because we are going to have some website-specific content that we'll be announcing very, very soon. Probably the next episode. I just got to iron out some details with the host that's going to be bringing that show in. But, yeah, make sure y'all stay tuned to everything that is Beat Network. And the best way to do it is beatnetworkonline.com. Again, shout out to my co-host of the day, Rach Da Gem.
Thank you. Make sure you listen to The Beat Monday through Friday with us.
YouTube.com/Beat Network. Make sure y'all go ahead and subscribe, hit that notification bell. So every time we say something, you're going to go ahead and see it. As always, we appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, we appreciate the support. And as always, Big Los. Shout out to Rach Da Gem. It's The Noize. Thanks.